Okay. So last week we spoke about that particular five integrated elements. We spoke about the practice, the people. We spoke about the people, and we said, everything centers around the people. When we spoke about the stakeholders, the different types of stakeholders that we have. We spoke about the project manager, the team, the project sponsor, the senior user, the senior supplier, the contractors, the external people, and all that. We spoke about that. And also, Miracle, your hand is still up. Yeah. Also, we spoke about the processes. First and foremost, we spoke about the principles, and the principles. We'll still talk about that. We spoke about the practices, and we spoke about the processes. Okay. So you can see that the first thing in here that is starting up a project is the project mandate. Okay. The project mandate is the first thing that is starting up a project. And I've normally I would have asked the class to prepare a project mandate as a first assignment, as a first homework, but I have a time to prepare the mandate today, just this evening. I prepared the mandate this evening for us on a project I will want us to work on. And the project is called the Legacy Project. So that's the name of the project we'll be working on. It's called the Legacy Project. Everything we'll be talking about is assumption or make-believe because we don't have a hand on that. And this particular project, I'm sure for some of you that might have gone online, you have seen things like change transformation project. You will have seen change transformation project. Sometimes you will see IT transformation project, or you see finance transformation project. Okay. What we're doing today, the project we'll be picking up can actually go into any of those three. You can call it a change transformation project. You can call it an IT transformation project. You can call it a finance transformation project. Okay. And that particular project is what is called the legacy project. So this is a typical example of a project mandate. Let me say this, a project mandate as that first document that I showed us, is that first document on a project that is starting up a project. And I think I spoke to us last week, who prepares a project mandate? So I'm asking that question openly now, just as a reminder, who prepares a project mandate? Anybody?
Project manager.
Okay. Any contrary opinion to that? Thank you, Rachel. Rachel said it depends on the organization. All right, Omomi, you're on mute.
Yes, I wanted to say that because I remember you said it depends on the organization. That was what you mentioned last week.
Excellent. Thank you very much. It all depends on the organization, but in an ideal world, the project sponsors are expected to prepare the project mandate and give it to the project manager, because this is more like a contract between the project sponsor and the project manager saying you can now start the project. This is a mandate telling you that, you can now start up a project. That's the PRINCE2 way. In the PMBOK way, we call it the project charter. Some of you will have seen project charter. We call it the project charter. But since we're saying, we're limiting ourselves to this, so we're calling it the project mandate. So I prepared this project mandate for us to say, okay, it's the project we're working on is a legacy project. That's the name of our project, Project Legacy. I prepared that. Project Legacy the originator is myself. The working group sponsor. Our sponsor is going to be day3. Okay, it's going to be day3. Like I said, how many of you have heard about CRM before, or ERP? How many of you have heard about CRM or ERP before? Nobody. Okay. If you've heard about it, just give me a thumbs up. That's all. How many of you have heard about SAP before, SAP? Okay, I have, right? How many of you have heard about Salesforce before? I have. How many of you have heard about NetSuite before? Okay, excellent. Okay. How many of you have heard about IFS before? Okay, nobody. How many of you have heard about MS Dynamics before? Okay, Rachel. All right. Any other? All right, good. Okay, so all of these tools I've mentioned are what we call the CRM or ERP. CRM means customer relations management or customer relationship management, while enterprises or some people will say enterprises. Can you, like, your hand is still up? Do you have a question or something? Okay. Then we have what we call the enterprise resource planning. Okay, so what are we even saying in here? What we're saying in here when we talk about CRM or ERP, what we're saying in here is for some organizations are so big that from when the raw material is coming into the organization to when the product is coming out of the organization, have you ever wondered how do they manage the process? How do they manage raw material coming, the inventory of the raw material, the cost of the raw material, moving from one place to another, how purchase order is raised, how customers come in and make booking invoices are raised, invoices are doing that. So that process, that end-to-end process is what we call a customer relationship management or enterprise resource planning. Okay. And when we talk about ERP, let me quickly say this about ERP. ERP means we are trying to enterprise the whole thing. So we can have a standalone, like most of you have got your Excel. You can say, you know, oh, IO, we can use Excel. When the raw material comes in, we use Excel to impute it. Then when invoice comes in, we use Excel to do that. That is a standalone. We're now saying, you know what? Because we want the sales team to be able to access the same portal, we want the marketing team to access the same portal, we want the customer support to access the same portal where everybody can see what is flowing. We can see the workflow of what is happening from the raw material up until the end. That is why we're saying we need to enterprise it. And that's why we now call it the enterprise resource planning, to enterprise it. You now make sure everything is connected on the cloud or on the internet. Okay, so for some of you, you will definitely, when you're applying for work, you will be seeing all of these things a lot. You'll be seeing CRM, ERP, CRM, ERP, ERM, CRP. And when you see all of this, you'll be seeing things like Salesforce, NetSuite, MS Dynamics, IFS, SAP HANA, and all of that. You'll be seeing all of that. Okay. So what we're deploying MS Dynamics 365. Okay, on this particular project. It's a make-believe project. And I'm saying that Legacy Corporation, a leading company in the industry, has identified the need to upgrade its current CRM and ERP systems. All right, Wumi. You want to go on mute, please? Miracle, do you want to put Wumi on mute, please? All right, thank you. The existing systems have become outdated. So we're saying that, you know what, in legacy organization, the existing system is now outdated. And we're saying is inefficient, unable to support the company's growth and evolving business processes. So after thorough research and evaluation, we discovered that, you know what, MS Dynamics is the tool that can help us. Easy to learn, simple to deploy, has been chosen as the new platform to enhance customer relationship management, streamline operations, and provide comprehensive business insight. Okay. Now, what do we really want to achieve as an organization? That our organization, let's assume our organization is in the business of toothpaste. Okay, that's what we're producing. We're producing toothpaste. So Legacy Corporation is a toothpaste organization. Okay, they are producing toothpaste. That's what we're doing. So, and we now need to deploy a tool to make sure that our customers, we're getting the raw material, everybody's seeing what is happening. We can able to track the customers and all that, and also customer service. So we're looking at, okay, what exactly is the objective of this particular project? I've listed 4 things in here as a typical objective of the project is to improve customer relationship management. We need to enhance our customer service and satisfaction. How do we get feedback? How do we make sure that our quality is fantastic and all of that? Okay. So we want to make sure that we enhance customer service and satisfaction through better management of customer relation interactions and data. That's what we want to achieve on this particular project. And that's why we're deploying this particular tool, because the tool we're using at the moment is outdated, is not supporting that. We're missing out customers. We're missing out feedback from customers. Okay. Also, we want to provide sales team with the tools to improve sales performance and customer engagement. Okay, we're saying that, you know what, we need a tool that can tell us the demography of people that are actually in need of our toothpaste. We need a data that can show us that, you know what, people in the Midlands really are really demanding the products we're dishing out. So we need to provide sales team with that particular data. So we need to see what exactly is the data. So we want to see who is buying what, who is not buying what at some point. Number 3, we want to integrate and automate business processes across departments, including sales, marketing, finance, and operations. Meaning we really want to automate it. We don't want people to be carrying files around. We want everybody to be able to log on their system and see what is moving from marketing to sales, what is moving from sales to finance to operations. Okay? How much are we making? How much are we spending? How much was the profit? How much is going out and all of that? And also who is doing what? We want to be able to see that. And that's exactly what we're saying to say. We want to streamline, we want to reduce paper. We don't want people to be carrying files around. We're not in the civil service in Nigeria and all that. So that is what we want to enhance. Reduce manual tasks and increase operational efficiency. So we want to, like I said, want to reduce manual tasks. People typing things in, people carrying files from one desk to another, and we're waiting for Mr. A to sign the file before we can move to the next phase of the business and all that. No, we really want to automate that. Or the click of a button, that person can sign, that person can see all the figures. You don't have to read through 10 pieces of papers before you can do what you need to do. Enhance reporting analytics. Like I said, reporting analytics, we want to see how we're doing as an organization so that we can make informed decisions. So these are all key objectives of what we want to achieve on this particular project we are embarking on. Okay, what exactly is the scope of work? The scope of work is system configuration and customization. We want to do that. Don't forget, let me quickly say, because some of you might be looking at my screen and be saying, these are technical terms. How do I need to navigate these? No, as a project manager, your job is to coordinate all of these. Okay, your job is not to configure Microsoft Dynamics. You're not the DevOps guy. Okay, your job is not to configure, but that is a scope of work. Okay, the scope of work that has been given to you, that the BA has gone round to develop. So the BA is giving you this particular scope to say, you know what, this is a scope of work. Configure Microsoft Dynamics to meet the specific needs of legacy corporation. Develop custom workflow forms, report as required. We have data migration, integration with existing systems, integrate Microsoft Dynamics. Then we want to train the people. We need to make sure we train the people and also make sure that we ensure a smooth change. Don't forget, we're coming from an obsolete tool to a more robust tool. A lot of people will fight against the change. People are used to carrying papers around. Now that we're moving into this particular tool, audit will be made easy. People that are manipulating figures will not be able to manipulate figures anymore. Don't forget, they will definitely fight against the change. So we need change management. We need to manage that change properly and make sure that people can transition from that old tool to the new tool. As a project manager, this is part of your job as well. Though you will have a change manager on the project. okay, to manage that change management for you, or it is you're accountable to make sure that that thing is going smoothly as a project management person. Then we have testing and validation. You have your testers, they have their test scenarios. After their test scenarios, they are conducting their test. They are telling you the system integration testing or the system acceptance testing, the SIT and SAT. Then they have their regression testing as well. They have the defect, they are correcting the defect. Your job is to make sure that that is properly reported to people when there is defect and all that is properly reported. You're overseeing what the testers are doing as well. Then you now deploy the tool. Then we now have what we call the post-deployment support. Some people call it the early life support, while some people call it the hypercare. Okay, so these are key scope of the project. What exactly is the benefit of these? Enhanced customers experience is not different from what we said earlier on. Okay, enhance customers experience, increase sales and efficiency, streamline and automate the process, just like scalable and flexible system support, just like we said earlier on. Primary stakeholders, legacy corporation executive team, or we can say Blue Sky Citadel. Instead of using legacy, I can use Blue Sky Citadel. The project team will come from the IT staff, the business analyst who is gathering the requirement for us, the departmental representatives from sales, marketing, customer service, finance, for all of the things we're deploying, okay? And one of those words you will also hear when you're seeing all of this is you will see things, they will say P2P. You will hear P2P, which is procure to pay. Procure to pay is talking about, your supply chain management, which is talking about how do you procure your raw materials to pay, okay? Or how do people procure to pay? So you can see it's coming from two sides. How do people procure to pay? So you see P2P, you see another one, order to cash. Order to cash is called O2C, okay? When people order, how do you collect your money from them? So that is all you're saying. There's another one that is called the R2R, which is record to report. So this is more like the data. You're recording everything that is being done, and you need to generate reports. So these are most of the things, and there is another one. What's that one? R2R, O2C, P2P, asset management. There's AM, asset management. Then there's AM, that is called the asset management as well. So all of these are things we expect the tool to do for us. Okay, those are the things we expect the tool to do for us. Then who are the key stakeholders? The project sponsor is a key stakeholder, which is your project board. The project manager, the end users as well. Who are the end users? The people within the team, external vendors and customers and business partners are your stuff. Okay, so I've prepared a project mandate for you. What is your first job? Your first job is to develop a project brief for me. Okay, so I need a project brief. I will send this out tonight. I will send this document, the project mandate, out tonight. So I need to prepare me a project brief. We'll talk about project brief very soon. Okay. And what I have not done before, I am doing it for this particular class. Okay. And which is I am giving you all of my templates, all of my project templates, everything. I will upload it tonight. I'll upload it on a file, and I'll send a link to everybody. And all I just need you to do is just download everything. Okay. These are all of my templates worth close to like £500 when I bought them, and I'm giving them for free to everybody. Okay. I'm not sure I want to do that. That's all right. Yep, I'll do that as well. Makes sense. So that is gonna go out to everybody. The link will go out to everybody tonight. You can just download that. Like I said, this is the first time I'm giving the template out to everybody. So inside that template, you will definitely see the project brief in there. Okay. You'll see the project brief, or you can go on the internet if you think that is too difficult for you to work on. You can go on the internet and just type in project brief templates, and you will see numerous templates online. Okay. The reason why I'm doing this is I just want you to be familiar with doing it, because as a project manager, you're coordinating and also you're doing documentation. You will definitely be doing documentation. And that is why on this particular course, you'll be doing a lot of documentations for me. I'll just be telling you, okay, prepare this, prepare that, prepare this, prepare that. And when you prepare that, you've got free, for some of you that are using Gmail, you have free, what is it called? Free space. You have free 10 gig and all of that. When you develop your document, okay, just upload that on your Google Drive and send me the link on Telegram. I'll always go in there, review it immediately, and put comment on it. Okay, I'll always try to devote. So I will appreciate it if you can. If you don't wait till next week Wednesday, because the cutoff time is 12 p.m. on Wednesday. Okay, before the class on Thursday, it's 12 p.m. on Thursday. But I will appreciate it if you can actually do that before that Wednesday, so that I don't start looking after 10 or 15 documents at a go. I might not be able to have that time, but if you're able to do that before, if it's given today, you're able to complete that tomorrow, send me the link. I would definitely appreciate that. That means I will have enough time to look at that and give feedback to us. Okay, so you can see we've got, what are the key deliverables? These are the key deliverables we need to develop. What are the potential risks? Like I said, resistance to change from employees, data migration challenges, because we're coming from an obsolete. I'm not sure. I'll ask Olawumi. Can Miracle or someone ask Olawumi to add me to the group, please? So we have, but I'm on some of the groups on Telegram from Blue Sky, really. So you can see data migration, because we're coming from an obsolete tool into this new tool, data will definitely be messed up. Integration issue with existing systems. There are some other systems within the house that we need to integrate it with. We can envisage that budget and timeline overrunning. How do we mitigate, develop a comprehensive change management plan, conduct thorough data migration planning and testing, engage all of that. What is the duration of our project? It's a 6-month project, and it's a £500,000 budget. So 6-month project, £500 budget, deployment of MS Dynamics, and I've told you what the scope are initially, and that is it. So the project sponsor is Deji Manuel. Get his signature, project manager, yourself, your name in there, okay, and your signature, and that's it, really. That is it about project mandate. So we have a project mandate to actually get into our project, okay? We've got a project mandate to get into our project. Any question from anybody before I move on?
I have the question.
Go
So
ahead.
if we're in an office environment, what would be a typical example of a project mandate?
Come again?
If we're in an office environment, what would be a typical example of a project mandate?
That's what I just shared now.
Okay, just want to confirm. Okay. So it's just to get the work done, right?
Yes. It's just an high level overview of what the project is all about.
Okay, that's right.
So with what I shared now, I'm sure you've got a little understanding of what that project should be all about, because that it's got the scope, it's got the benefits, it's got the time of the project, which is saying 6 months, it's got the cost of a project. Those are the key things you need, and it's got key stakeholders, who is a sponsor and who is a project manager. The moment you have all of that, that is a project mandate. Every other thing is just a ceremony. The moment you have what the project scope is, what the timeline is, what the cost of the project is, who is the key stakeholders, those are the 4 key things you need on a mandate. Okay?
Hello, Ayo.
Yes, go ahead, Miracle.
Yeah, I just got off the call to allow me. She said you've been added.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much. Good stuff. Okay, so you can see that. So you can see after we've created our after we've done our project mandate, and you now have that, you can see the next thing you need to create is what? A project brief. Okay, and that project brief encompasses your project document, your project management team structure, and your outline business case. So the next work as a project manager now is starting is to produce a project brief from the project mandate I'm giving to you. Make sense, everybody? Excellent. Okay, so let's go into more detail of what we want to do for the next 56 minutes, really. I'll rush through the principles, the processes, and all of that tonight as well. And I'll give you one more assignment to do. All right. A project is a temporary venture that exists to produce a defined outcome. Each project, what was saying that? Let me, it won't be good to just leave you guys like that. Initiation. Yep. Okay. That's it. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. So you can see, like I said, like I showed you in there. So this is a typical template of a project brief. What is a project? Legacy project. Who is a sponsor? AG. Who is a project manager? Yourself. When is the start date of a project? You can pick up 1st of June or 1st of July, 6-month project. What's the completion date? 31st of December. Then the document versioning. This is not what we're talking about when we spoke about document controlling. So you've got your document details. What's the version? Because what this particular part is there, which is document controlling, is there will be different version. When you do that, that is your first draft. When you send it to me to review, I'll review that, because when you do a project brief or when you do a document within an organization, you must have who is reviewing the document, who will review it, and back and forth between yourself and the project sponsor. The team members will definitely be coming in and out. So you quickly want to put all of that version in there so that we can have version controlling, okay, which is document controlling. Approvals, we know who the approval is, the project sponsor. You can list their names, say Emmanuel, Ayo, Deji Emmanuel, Ayo, those are the sponsors and all that. Then this is where the work is for you guys. Okay, this is where the major work is. What is the project background? You can see there. What's the project object? You can always have all of this in the project brief. So you can just copy and paste that into that. Outcomes is deliverable. Then constraints. Make up constraint for yourself. Okay. You don't have to be rigid about it. Just make assumptions. Assumptions as well. Just make assumptions to say, you know what, we assume that the data are all right. We assume that won't have resource issues. Those kind of assumptions, just make assumptions. Then I need a business case. I need a business case to be written, an outline business case to be written in there. What exactly is a product description? You can always go online to get what's the product description for MS Dynamics. What approach do you want to take? Then what is a project team structure and the roles description for everyone? Okay, for everyone. We'll talk about that today because I want you to prepare a RACI for me as well. That's a second assignment, to prepare a RACI. So we'll talk about these one today and how to do that. Is that clear for everybody? Thumbs up if you're not clear. Okay. So I didn't say any thumbs up. That means everybody's clear. Yeah, Wumi, your hand is up. Go ahead, please. Okay. Bumi, your hand is up. Go ahead.
You mentioned RACI.
Yes, we'll get there.
So I'm not really okay.
We'll get to RACI. Don't worry. We'll get to RACI today. Okay. All right. Omomi.
Sorry. Yeah, and you said legacy projects is the name of the project, right?
Yes, Project Legacy.
Okay. All right. So I'm trying to, oh, okay, let's continue.
That's all right. Don't mind me. The name of my company is Legacy, so that's why. Okay, so that's that for project mandate. Okay. That's that. So like I said, anything you're looking for, you always see it in your that's a RACI matrix. You always see a RACI matrix in there as well. You always see a RACI matrix in there as well. So you can see. Well, like I said, no worry, when we get there, let me open it. When we get there, we will talk about it. Then let me jump the gun. Okay. So we've got a project. A project is a temporary venture that exists to produce a defined outcome. We spoke about that already. And each project will have agreed and unique objectives as well, you know, as well as its own plan, budget, time scale, and deliverables. Just like Wumi and Bumi, your hands are still up. Just like we have we spoke about in the project brief. In the project brief, don't forget we said the budget is 500. Wumi, your hand went up again. Okay. We said the budget is £500,000. The time scale is 6 months. Okay, the project plan, we've got a brief project plan in there, even though it's not detailed. Then we've got what are the key deliverables in there as well in our plan. Okay, so you can see each project will always have agreed and unique objectives. Each project. So when we want even that particular MS Dynamics 365 that will be deploying, for another organization, really, it's got its own project plan, its own unique objectives and all that. And also for project management can be defined as a discipline of applying specific processes. Okay, we know those processes: the start of a project, initiate a project, direct a project, manage stake boundaries and all that, to principles. We know what the principles are. You know what? Continued business justification and all of that. So initiate, plan, execute, and manage the way that new initiatives, changes are implemented within an organization. That is what we call a project management. What are the principles? Remember we said we've got 7 principles, 7 processes, and 7 practices. Okay, so let's go into detail a lot of these, because that is exactly what will lead us to all of these project brief homework and also RACI homework. Remember that when I spoke in detail about these last week, I said continued business justification. And that is a big question mark in there. Are the benefits still worth the risk or cost? And that was why I asked us, I gave us an example of the eclipse of the moon last week, okay? Are the benefits still worth the risk or the cost? You need to always ask yourself, okay? Are the benefits still worth? It's just like the election that is coming in the UK or in July the whatever they call it, July the 4th or whatever, is you're asking yourself, it's a project for some people. We just need to keep on asking ourselves, is conservative still worth the risk of getting them back or not? Okay, so you want to keep on asking yourself those questions whenever you're running a project, every time. Okay, Catherine, your hand is up. You're muted.
Hi. Oh, sorry. Hi. So I was going to ask, based on what you've just said regarding the cost benefit analysis,
Yes.
is there a way we can like maybe calculate or discern or ascertain if a project's benefits would outweigh the cost? Thank you.
Yes, there are ways. If you're writing exams, there are ways you can do. If you're writing exams, you can use your net present value. You can use your return on investment, ROI. You can use your internal rate of returns. I know that there are calculations to do that as a finance person, but as a project manager, you are not expected to do all of those calculations, okay, on the job. You're not expected to do project selection. That is not your job as a project manager. They can seek your advice in doing project selection, but you're not required to do project selection to say which project will give us higher return. No, the finance guys will go and do that, or the portfolio director or the program director is expected to be able to do that because he is sitting at the portfolio level and is as a director and he's saying that, you know what, this project is not worth it for the organization at this point. That project is worth it for the organization at this point. So at that level, but at the project manager's level, you're not expected to sit to start discussing project selection using net present value, internal rate of returns, ROI, and the likes. Okay, all right. Timmy asks, is project brief template standard for all organizations or each organization has it? So no, it's not standard even for projects within an organization. It is not standard. Different finance project can have their own brief, while sales project can have their own brief. But we always expect organizations to have a synchronized template from their center of excellence, and that is where PMO comes in. PMO are always a custodian of all of this template. They will make sure that templates are synchronized across board within an organization so that project A is not just using their own template or using a different document and project B is using a different document. PMO are there to standardize and synchronize all of these together. So different organizations, an organization can have one-page brief. And like I don't know who I was telling. You can have different. My first official project as a project manager back in Nigeria, I developed a 2-page brief. Then I went on another project with someone and with an organization then they used to be called a Tiselat. And I saw a 151-page project mandate because it contained a lot of contracts. You must not do this, you must not do that, you must do this, you must do that, you must do this. And that's 151 pages of a mandate. You get, and yet I've prepared a 2-page mandate before. You can actually prepare a 1-page or 5-line mandate. Like I said, 5-line mandate. What is the scope? What is the timeline? What is the cost? And who are the key stakeholders? That's it. Mandate done. Okay. But while some organizations will want more information to be given for those stuff. All right. Continued business justification. Like I said, continue to the next year. We're saying, are the benefits still worth it? If it's a yes, what do? We continue. Where's my pointer? Pointer. That's it. We continue to the next stage. We develop the business case, and within the business case, or we start reviewing the business, not develop, we review the business case. Is a project worthwhile? Then we do the cost-benefit analysis to know what that is worthwhile. If the benefits outweighs the cost, risk, and time, then we definitely need to continue. Okay? But if the cost, risk, and time outweighs the benefits, then what's the point of doing it? But if it's a no, if the benefit is still worth the risk, if it's a no, stop the project. Then let's look at what was the cause of the failure. Then we look at the lessons learned. This is how we continue to justify if the project is worth doing or not. Okay? Next to that is learn from experience. Don't forget that when we said this, the thing we said is learn your lessons. When you learn your lessons, they need to be documented. Let's learn from both successes and mistakes. So we need to start creating our lessons log. Okay. So one of the assignments also is you need to create a lessons log for the legacy project. Okay. So we're starting up the project now. Let's create a lessons log for the project that will for legacy project. So that is left to you to do that. Then we need recruit members with experience in similar project, experts. Like you remember, I said this last week. One of the people you want to bring on board are the expert on your project. You are just a project manager that is coordinating everybody together. You're not technically inclined with what is happening. You don't want to bring someone that doesn't know what they are doing as well as a dev, as a solution designer or the DevOps guy or the tester. You want to bring in experienced people to do that, so that all you're doing is just coordinating and reporting and making sure that you're keeping to time, you're keeping to cost, and also the scope. You're not doing scope creeping. Okay, lessons learned, identify the lessons, document the lessons, and disseminate the lessons. Okay, disseminating the lessons is to the project board and to the entire team as well, to say, you know what, these are the lessons we're learning on this particular project and all that. Next to that is you need to define roles and responsibilities. And defining roles and responsibilities, is everyone clear what is expected of them? That is very, very critical when you're starting up a project. Is everyone clear with what they're expected to do? So when you're bringing people on board, they know exactly what they need to do. When you're doing your onboarding, they know exactly what needs to be done. Excuse me. What needs to be done. And within that, we have what we call the project board, the project manager, and the team manager. That's the hierarchy. The team manager reports to the project manager. The project manager reports to the project board. The project board has got the project sponsor and has got some key senior stakeholders within your project. Okay? Within the project board, you have what we call the senior user, senior supplier. And for the kind of project we are deploying, which is the MS Dynamics that we're deploying, you need the business, because that tool is for the business. The business guys, the business are actually the guys running the operations. Not the IT guys now, but the business guys are the guys running the operation. The sales, the marketing, the customer service, they are the ones running the operation. Those are the people we call the business. Okay, within an organization. So when you get on a project and you're hearing the business is actually the users, the people that are using the product, that will be using the product, are people we're calling the business, that will impact them greatly if that project should fail or that project should get developed as well, should succeed. These are the people who are doing. Yeah, they interface with the end users. Yes. So the end users might be selected few within the organization, okay, because we're calling them end users, even though the whole organization is using it. But for us to test and all that, we need few of the end users to test that for us on the project, because we're deploying it wide that to the organization and all that. So that's who we call the stakeholders. So one key document that will always help us to have a clear definition of what everyone will be doing is what is called the RACI, the responsible, accountable, consult, and inform matrix. It's called the RACI matrix. So, like I said, a document like this is tiny, right? Is it tiny? Is it big enough? I need response, please. Is it big enough?
Yeah, that should be fine. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. So you can see these are RACI. These are RACI. And in this particular RACI, you can see initiate phase. The initiate phase is say submit project request. When you submit a project request, to say, you know what, we're submitting a project request to the project selection team that Catherine spoke about. Okay, so we've got the organization submit project request to say, you know what, there is a project we need to handle. That's the project. So the project selection committee are the ones that are now saying, is this particular project viable? What's the rate of returns on this particular project? What is internal rate on this particular? What's the present value or net present value on this particular project? So you can see who should be doing that. You can see that the person that is accountable is the executive sponsor. Then the project sponsor is responsible for that. Then the project manager is the one submitting it. Then we are consulting the tech lead and all of that as well to get their input into the project, to have a convincing project request, because that's why we're consulting with them. Request review by PMO. Who is responsible? Project manager, and the PMO is accountable for that. You can see create a project charter. Creating a project charter in this particular organization is saying consult the executive sponsors, consult the sponsors, okay? But the responsibility has been given to the project manager. But in my own case, I will say that, you know what, this guy is accountable for that. Both of them are accountable for it in my own book. And this guy here is only responsible because he's been told to write it. Okay? Create schedule. We're informing these guys that we are creating a schedule. This guy here is responsible as a project manager. You're responsible to create and accountable to create a project plan. You can consult all of these guys. You're consulting them to get their input into the plan, because don't forget, you know nothing about the project, about the work to be done. These guys are the ones that are technical guys that you need to consult. The tech lead, the functional lead, the subject matter expert, the project team members are people you are consulting, okay? Then you will inform the PMO that, yes, the project plan is ready. But in some cases, the PMO is actually also responsible to create the project plan alongside, like on the project I'm on at the moment, I'm the PMO lead on that particular project, and I'm responsible for creating most of the project plan. So I go around to meet all of these guys. At the moment, I go around to meet all of these guys, say, you know what, the data guys, can you get me your plan on the data? What do you need to do on trial cut over 1? What do you need to do on trial cut over 2? Your master data load or your transactional data load, what are you doing? How do you want to plan it? How many days do you need for that? So you can see I'm consulting with them. After doing that, then I need to go and meet the guy that is really, really accountable to manage the plan, to say, okay, Mr. Project Manager, how far? This is the plan. This is what I've gathered from everybody. This is now your plan. Do you want us to review that? And work starts from there. So you can see how the responsible assignment matrix works. So if anybody comes into the project and say, who is doing what? You can bring out this document and say, this is the person that is doing this. This is the person we are consulting. This is the person that is responsible for this. With this, we can have a clear understanding of the work that needs to be done. Make sense? Any questions so far? I've got 4 minutes to answer that question. Go ahead, Miracle.
Sorry, I don't know that team rules and responsibility. I got lost.
Come again, I didn't get that.
I said I got lost. The team rule and responsibility. Sorry.
Between roles and responsibilities.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. No problems. What? Any other question from anybody?
Someone asked a question on the chat.
Okay. Is a project manager in charge of creating the risk matrix template? Okay, so in an organization that has got PMO, okay, the PMO are responsible. The project management office is responsible for creating all of these templates. Remember, I said that earlier on. But in the absence of a PMO within a project, yes, the project manager and the organization do not have a center of excellence or excellence. They don't have a center of excellence, okay, a COE, where you have all of those templates. But in major organizations, you will always have all of these things stored on SharePoint somewhere to say, you know what, yes, in this organization, this is a recipe we're using. This is a template recipe we're using. That's a template brochure brief you're using. That's a template of business case and all of that. But in the absence of none, In the absence of none, when you get into an organization, like a typical example is I was with an organization sometimes last year. They brought me in to actually come and develop all of these processes for them. So it was a free way for me. So I brought all of my template, and that was when I bought some of those templates really. So I brought all of my templates into the organization to actually develop all of that and customized it for them. So you can see, because they don't have a center of excellence of a PMO. So I came in to set up a PMO for them, or set up a center of excellence for them. So going forward now, project managers cannot just come from anywhere and bring their own templates. They now need to use the templates in-house because that has been centralized. So in the absence of none, the project manager can bring in his own template from anywhere. Okay. All right. Temi is asking, how true is the fact that there are some organizations that one person performs dual function, not having the standard as stated in the RACI matrix? If so, how do you manage through in holding people accountable for project, not flopping? Yes. So true fact, in some organizations you have that, and that is why you are creating this RACI. And when you create this particular RACI, you're not hiding this RACI under your pillow. Everybody is seeing this RACI and they are challenging you to say, you know what, Temi, no, I'm sorry, I'm not responsible for creating project schedule. Oh, sorry, no, I'm not responsible for creating the lessons learned. So when someone challenges you like that, okay, so who is responsible? They can't give you answer. You doesn't know the answer. You say, no, let's have a conversation on this. And at the end of the day, everybody must sign off on this particular RACI. Everybody is signing off on the RACI, and we all agree that these are my roles and responsibilities. Don't forget what that chart told us, that we must what? It must be clear to everybody who is doing what. So we are all coming up and we are all signing off to say, this particular RACI, do we all agree on it? Can we now baseline this RACI and say, that is who is doing that? That is what we are doing. Okay, so as a project manager or as a PMO, always make sure that this is well circulated. There is a meeting on it and everybody's agreeing to everything that is in there. And this is now baselined. And in most cases, the moment you have the project sponsor or the program manager sign off, it becomes the baseline for everything. So if anybody's coming and say they don't agree, just say, you know what, this has been baseline. This has been agreed by the program manager or the project sponsor. So unfortunately, if you need a change, you need to raise a change request to say, you know what, that is not your role, and it must go to the project board. The project board must look at it and say, truly, it is not the job of Funke to do this. It is the job of Rachel to do that. Okay, make sense? All right, Omowumi, question.
Hello. Sorry to take you back. I know you mentioned that you're going to give us an assignment on the RACI
Yes.
matrix. Are you going to give us the template? Because I don't understand the parts. Is
I'm
the
giving you-
template going to be like that?
I'm giving you my 1,000,001 template
Oh, okay.
on project management as a whole. Any template you can think about on project management, I'm giving you everything.
Okay.
You can always go into that template, or if you think the template doesn't look fancy enough, okay, you can go to let me share something. Let me share something with you. What is it? Template? Yeah, that's my template. That my template. Yeah, that's that. So let's do a RACI. So if you a typical example again is if you go to this particular website is called template.net. You can go in there and pay some money. I think it's $100 or something, and you can have access to templates for the whole year, different kind of templates for the whole year. Like I said, it was when I was working. How come I can't see anything here? Strange. still downloaded a few ones a few nights ago. Let's see, downloads. Racy. Yeah, I still downloaded a few ones a few days ago. Racy. Yeah, you can see this is a fancy Racy. Can you see? This is a fancy Racy saying what the task is, who is responsible by name. This one is using name. So you can see that. I've got another one. Got another fanciful one as well. So you can see this one as well. There's a request, submit the request, develop a business case, who is accountable, who is responsible. So you can see different templates that if you go on Google, there are numerous templates on Google that you can always pick. Okay? Make sense?
Yeah.
All right, excellent.
Thanks.
Any question from anybody again? Okay. So manage by stages. I spoke about manage by stages, and when I spoke about manage by stages, I gave you that red light, green light, go or no go decision. It's a point where we talk about you go, is a project worth continuing? Don't forget what continued justification is saying is the project worth doing, still continue doing? This guy also is asking us that, you know what, is the project worth continuing? The product we came out with now. So we say, you know, don't forget we're managing by stages. So we're moving from one stage to another. Before we transition into that stage, we need to put a point in there to say, you know what, should we go ahead or should we not go ahead? So you have to go to your project board to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is what we said we will do. And we've been able to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Can we now move to the next stage? Your board will tell you, yes, you can go. Your board will say, no, we are not satisfied with what you've done with your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, 10. You've only done 1, 2, 3, 4. You need to go and do 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. And that at that time, what they are giving you is a red light, no go, until you're able to do all of those things. Okay, that is what we do when we say we manage by stages. Next to that is manage by exception. Manage by exception, like I wrote it in there, it saves senior managers time, no need for regular meetings. Remember when I said manage by exception, I said that you can tell the project manager that if anything is below £5,000, you can sign it off. If the change is below £5,000, if a cost of a material is £5,000, you can sign it off. But the moment it is more than £5,000, please come back to the project board and get an approval. If there is a change in the project timeline by 5 days, the project manager, you can approve that. But if it's more than 5 days, please, you need to come to the project board for approval. So you can see how there are exceptions that are being given to the project manager to be able to carry out those work. And project board takes a decision after reviewing the impact on the 6 objectives. So they're looking at what is the impact on the time, the cost, the quality, the benefit, the risk, and the scope of work in or out. So you're saying that you're telling the project manager that, you know what, majorly on scope, we don't give exception when it comes to scope. Okay, because scope is quite critical. That's what has been agreed with the project sponsor. So we don't really give exceptions when it comes to that. Also, we spoke about, you know what, you need to focus on the product. Are we delivering at the quality required? That's one of the principles. Are we delivering at the quality required? Decreases if the quality is not, it decreases the chance of acceptance disputes if the quality is not as required, and users dissatisfaction. Don't forget, one of the things we said today, one of the things we said in our presentation about quality is the fitness for use and customers' satisfaction. That's what we're talking about when it comes to quality. So you don't want to do user dissatisfaction. And you also need to understand what exactly is the product description, which is one of the things you will write in your project brief for me about the MS Dynamics product description. And also, you need to make sure that awareness is provided, each product purpose, the composition, and the quality criteria. While you're doing all of these, when it comes to focus on the product, is you're trying to reduce or remove scope creeping. What do we mean when we say scope creeping? Scope creeping is making changes to the scope that are not approved. So when you think, this change is good, let me make it. That change is nice, let me make it, without getting approval on the scope of work, what you are doing is what we call scope creeping, and that is not allowed in project management. Then the last principle to that is, we spoke about this extensively, tailor to suit the project environment. Apply PRINCE2 with common sense. That is it. Apply PRINCE2 with common sense. We can't say, because we need to provide, because we need, PRINCE2 says 72 templates. PRINCE2 has got, this is me just saying, PRINCE2 has got 72 templates. You now want to do a wedding, and you now say, you know what, yes, we need to apply all that 72 templates. Oh, you want to do just a tiny project, you say, yeah, that sounds template. No, they say, apply with common sense. Make sure you tailor it to what you're doing. Adapt PRINCE2 to suit your project needs. Okay, adapt it to suit your project needs. Not you making sure that, I must follow it to letter, word for word, and all of that. There are different things that will make you to adapt. Level of complexity of a project, like I said, a wedding or a birthday project is different from a change transformation project or a finance transformation project. The scale is different, the risk is different, and the cultural context of projects are quite different. Okay. All right. So that is all about the principles. Then the themes. The themes talks about, Wumi, your hand is up. Do you have a question? No. Okay. So business case, we've spoken about business case when we spoke about continued justification. So a business case is talking about benefits, cost, analysis, viability, feasibility. Is it viability? Is it worth doing? Is it not worth doing? So you can see the purpose is to establish mechanism to judge whether the project is desirable, viable, achievable, as a means of support decision making in its continued investment. So you want to prepare a detailed business case that is convincing to the project sponsor to say, yes, the project is worth doing. Let's continue. And you must make sure that a business case is a living document. You don't prepare a business case and dump it. You have to always go back to see, are we doing what we said we would do? Is this project still worth it? And all of that. And you have to make sure that your business case is updated regularly. Okay, so the business case includes a time scale over which the cost benefit analysis will be based, which is talking about the benefits, the output as specialist products, the changes derived. Then we've got what we call the benefit management approach. How do we want to manage the benefits that we're getting? Everything will be written in the business case. What exactly is the benefit of this particular project? And at the end of the day, by the time we'll finish it, we want to see create, maintain, review, update business justification, define related roles and responsibilities. Yes, in the business case, it will be defined as well. Then produce and maintain business case and benefit management approach. All of this is what we want to get out when we do our business case. So when you're doing your business brief for me, you will see that a summary of business case is a byproduct of a project brief. So you will definitely be doing a summary of a business case while you're preparing your summary. Next to that is organization. Okay, I will just give a brief about organization. Then when we get into, I've got a topic we're doing that is called the stakeholders management. Okay, or stakeholders engagement. They don't use management anymore. They now use engagement. So we'll talk about stakeholders engagement as a topic. We'll definitely drill that into that. So for organization, I was saying that to define and establish a project structure of accountability and responsibilities. When I was talking about organization, I use another word. Who can remember the word that I use? Anytime I talk about organization, I always use one particular word. Who can remember? Business. No. When I talk about not organization as a company, organization within a project which define project structure of accountability and responsibilities. Who remembers?
The people?
Not the people, not the people. Yes, the people makes up the organization, but when we talk about organization, we're talking about organization to define and establish the project structure and accountabilities and responsibilities. I use one word that start with G. The word starts with G. It's critical. The word is so critical, and that is very, very critical. Unfortunately, you can't see it on this slide, which is good. Who can remember? Thank you very much, Catherine. Governance, 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 governance. It is very, very critical. When you go for your interviews and all of that, make sure it's part of the words you're throwing around. Okay? Make sure this is part of a buzzword that is in your CV and part of the words you're throwing around during your interview. Okay? Governance, because this is very, very critical. And like you see, the purpose of governance is to establish, define, and establish the project structure. This is as a project manager, this is what you're there for. You're there to come and establish the structure and accountability and a structure of accountability and responsibilities. And that is why your RACI is there as well. Your RACI is part of those structure you're putting together. So as a project manager or as a PMO person, you are expected to put all of these together. Okay, the governance, you're expected to put it together. We will definitely be talking about governance as a whole as well, while we're talking about the stakeholders, what are the different levels of governance or governances you need to put in place, and how do you write your terms of reference for each of those governance. Okay, so that is what we'll talk about. Now, do you communicate? That's why we say, the minimum requirement is define the organizational structure and roles and change authority. Define the approach to communicate and engage with stakeholders, because within this, you want to talk about who is your project board, who will be part of your project board, what is the objective of the project board, what are the things that are going to the project board, what is the input to the project board, what do we want to gain out of the project board. Okay, that is what we call governance. The project team meeting as well. What is the terms of reference of this particular project? What's the purpose? What's the objective? What is the input to this project team meeting? Who are the members of this project team meeting? And what do we want to get out of this project team meeting? Another one is the change control board. What is the purpose and the benefit of this control board? What is the job of this change control board? Who are the members of this change control board? What is the output of these, and who should be doing what? Okay, you can see that these are all governances. This is what is called a governance structure that you need to put in place on a project. Who is doing what? Who is reporting to who on the project? This is a critical job of a project manager or a PMO organization. Quality, we spoke about quality already today. That's one of the things of the presentation we spoke about, to say, to define and implement means by which the project will verify products that are fit for purpose and also that conforms to the requirement. This is a requirement from the project manager, from the project sponsor. We need to make sure that we are conforming to the requirement and the product is fit for use. Okay, and that is what we'll talk about. Your quality management plan. We'll talk about the quality assurance. We'll talk about quality control. We talk about the product description. Is it fit for use? Do we go ahead? Do we do a rework? What do we need to do? Do we do a preventative action? Do we do a corrective action to make sure that we are delivering what needs to be delivered? Then we move to plan. I won't disturb myself with plan because we've got a whole topic on plan, and that is when we'll be using our MS project to do that. So for the MS project, I saw Juliet coming in. Omomi, it was Omomi. I will appreciate if you can speak with Miracle, any one of you. If you can speak with Olawumi and ask Olawumi how you can get these two products installed on your laptop, MS Project and MS Visio. Okay, MS Project and MS Visio, MS Project and MS Visio. Ask her if there is a process to install that, to be able to install that on your laptops. If not, I've got a particular website that the guy sells all of these products for £10. Okay, for £10, and it's an easy to install. It's an easy to install tool. So ask her if they've got a process to do that, then I can send you the website that where I get my own products from, really, and you can always get that from that particular website for £10 for MS Project and MS VCO. Oh, we're recording this. I'm not supposed to be saying that, you know. That's all right. So we've got create and maintain plans and project product description. Here we'll be creating our plan. We'll create a project plan. We'll create the 3 levels of plan: the project plan, the stage plan, and the team plan for this. So I won't waste too much time talking about planning and all that. Then risk, I've got a whole topic on risk management, just like we spoke about risk today. I love Rachel's presentation today on risk, very detailed, and the slide as well. Maybe I might be using that slide to take the risk when we get to risk stuff. I've got my slide, but just to use a slide, and we'll be talking about how to write your strategy, your risk management strategy, how to identify risk, how to develop your risk register as well, and how to do your risk responses. As a project manager, how do you document your risk? As a PMO, how do you follow up on risk and issues on the project? Okay, then you heard me saying change control board. We will definitely talk about change management as a whole, where we'll design a process. That is why I want you to have VCO, because we'll be using VCO to design the process of change management. Who raises changes? Who raises change? Who is expected to review change? Who is expected to approve change? We need to talk about that process, because you'll be expected to develop that process on the project, okay, as a project manager or as a PMO person. So we'll talk about change as well in detail. We'll pick up a topic one day, 1 hour, and we'll drill down into change. And another thing is a progress report. The progress. We need to talk about progress on the project. We need to report progress on the project, report to the project team, report to the project board, and report to the executive if there is any on your project, so you can see what are the kinds of reporting you do on different levels. And on this particular project that we have, when we get into the execution stage, we will definitely be doing our reporting. We'll be developing reporting in PowerPoint. So you can see now that Olufunke, you can't escape PowerPoint at this point, because that is where we'll be doing our reporting from. And that is it really on the principles. And the processes are just straightforward. Processes are straightforward. It's not different from what we've been talking about. You could see that going into that is project mandate. Then the project mandate, you could see that in your project mandate, we've appointed who the sponsor is. We've appointed who the project manager is, which is yourselves on that. Then we now need you to design and appoint the project team management team, prepare a business case outline, then select the project approach and the assembly of the project brief. Then I want you to do the plan, the initial stage, which is what I've given to you in the project mandate already. So this is where we are at the moment, and that is where I want you to provide me the project brief. Okay. By next week, we will get to this place next week. Okay. And the week after the next, we'll keep on going as we proceed on how we deliver a project from start to finish, because we're delivering MS Dynamics for Legacy Corporation. Any question from anybody? Ask questions. You've got 6 minutes to ask questions.
I've got a question. So are we all going to work together to create the business brief, or do you have to do it individually?
Individual work.
Okay.
Because you are the project manager. There is no project. So you can't say, oh, Todimu is a project manager and Funke, Fumilola, and all that are the team members. No, everyone here is a project manager. That's what we are gunning for, isn't it? So you need to make sure you take the lead on your own project. Make sense?
Okay.
Go ahead, Catherine.
Okay, yeah, I was going to ask, for next week, are
Yes.
we working, for the assignments, are we working on chapter 5 and 6 presentation and the project brief
And the RACI.
and the RACI charts too? Okay.
Yeah. Miracle, your hand is up.
Yeah, when you were going through the RACI, I saw something about the change management or something, and you wrote the project manager is responsible. But earlier you said something about who is responsible for change. They have something like a change manager or something. I can't really.
Okay. So there is, when we get to change, we will talk about that. So there's difference between change control, okay, and change management. Okay. Change management talks about the entire change that the project is bringing to the organization.
Oh,
While change control is talking about the changes within the project that is impacting the cost, the schedule, the scope, the resources, and the benefits.
okay.
Does that make sense to you now?
Yeah.
Good. So the change manager that I was talking about is the one that is for the entire project. Okay. Meanwhile, some organizations can dump the change control within the project on change managers as well. To say, since you are the change manager, why not manage the change within the project as well? Okay.
Okay.
Why in most cases, the PMOs are responsible for chasing the change within. Okay, they are responsible for chasing the change, but the project manager is accountable for the changes within his project. Is the one that is making sure that we're not scope creeping, right? Is one that is making sure that we're not going beyond the budget, right? Is one that is making sure that we're not going beyond the time. Okay, so it's the one that is accountable for the change, but the PMOs are responsible sometimes for making sure that changes are recorded, changes are taken to the change control board for approval.
Okay.
Make sense to everyone?
Yeah.
Okay. So Formula is saying, to be clear about our assignment, we are to do presentation on pages 5 and 6. Yes, please. Create a project brief. Yes, please. Create a lessons learned log. Thank you very much. I forgot about that. And create a RACI. So, so for the lessons learned, you're creating a lessons learned log, and you will start documenting some lessons in there. But the racing matrix is not a template. You're developing a racing matrix for your project, MX Dynamics. Okay? Any question from anybody tonight?
I think I've got a question.
Go ahead,
for
Rachel.
for the racing metrics, let's
Yes.
say I'm new to project management and I've just
Yes.
gotten a job just like this project we are managing. How
Yes.
do I know who I'm going to assign all of these responsibilities to?
So that is why you will not be doing the job alone. Don't forget you've got SMEs, and also MS Dynamics is not, this is not the first time someone will be deploying MS Dynamics. Okay. So you've got a lot of information online to help you, to guide you, even as a project manager that is just stepping into an organization. Okay. And the beautiful thing now is you have AI as well to help you and all of that. So you can always do this. And all you need to do is to say, oh, and that's why names, to be on the safe side, most times I don't use names. I use portfolios. Okay, because I'm just stepping into an organization. I'm not sure if I understand whether it is Temi that is a test manager on this particular project, whether Temi is even out of is resigning as a test manager in the next 1 week, and I didn't know about that. So you will always use their portfolio to say, you know what, the test manager, the functional lead, the stream lead, the developer, and all that. So stick to those kind of portfolios as against using names. Okay. It is now when you're now certain about the names that you can start putting the names in there. But in most cases, you work with a subject matter expert to do that. Okay. But in this case, I don't have a subject matter expert. Internet is your subject matter expert.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes, it does. Thanks.
All right. Excellent. Anybody else? Time up. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. And yes, Omomi, yes, I will remember to do that. I might not be able to do that tonight, but I will definitely do it first thing in the morning when I get back to my desk. Okay, please bear with me. I will upload all of those documents. Every template I've got on my stuff, I will upload that. I'll upload them and send out the link to everybody. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for tonight, and see you next week.
Thank you, Ayo. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you.
Nice.
Good night, everyone.
Welcome.
Thank you. Good night.
Miracle, you can stop recording now.